Hey, what's up, guys, gals? Somebody was asking for Turbulence and the Night Rays run through. A lot of parts in this song, so I'll try and make it as quick as possible. The intro is just a C diminished to C major, and then the second part of the intro is D major to B minor. The way you would play, easiest way to play it when you slide in with your third finger to play that C diminished is to drop back your first finger, so you're picking into it, and then you're just moving your first finger up to make that C major. So that is the C part, and then it moves up to D to B minor, and you're gonna get that slide in. You're going to want to do that slide in on the root every time. Kind of gives it that continuous feel to it. So basically that's it. You run that through a few times. The last time through on the B minor, there's a little bit of a run that leads them into the verse. And it's just simple. And then he lands on that root of the verse, which is F sharp. So verse is F sharp 7, B minor, E7 to A. Easy positioning, B minor, E7 to A. In between each one of those, there's a little break with the F sharp 7 at 9 chord, and then it's E diminished with F in the bass. So you kind of lead yourself into it with your first finger, and then just kind of lay into the chord. So it's basically a pick, and then so you can leave your first finger barred to hit, catch your G in your diminished. So again, it's real easy. Just it's hard to see it. So. So that's the break. From there, it goes into basically like a second or first chorus, B minor to E minor 7 to A to D. Then I've only heard one version of this. There's a quick pentatonic run that leads you into this kind of cool little jazz turnaround. It's basically the run in D, and then a B7, A7, and then it's a couple of bass riffs. So like G to G sharp, and then walk up with E, F, F sharp, and then you start back into the verse. So basically that's kind of like and then something like that, but then the main part is the B7, the A7, the hammer on G to G sharp, and then the walk up. And that puts you right back at your F sharp for the next part of the verse, which he plays lower. Then he goes back to the E7. Then you got the break again. Then right back into that first chorus, A to D. Next part is the double stops. The sixths is what they're called. Interlude is what it's listed at in the tab. Sixths, just for anybody who doesn't know, it's pretty simple. It's a sixth is two notes that are played that are 6 degrees apart. It's pretty self-explanatory. So 6 degrees apart in a diatonic scale. But basically what he's doing in the interlude is he's outlining the chords. He starts out with the F sharp, hits the B minor a little bit, then the E7, and then right back to D. So the first part would be F sharp, then you got your B minor, that was supposed to be A, then your lead into the E, and And then this one's a little bit trickier, but this leads you into the D. I don't know if I can slow that down enough to see it, but up to speed it's a little faster. First time through, he leads into a G. This is at the end of the interlude, and the second time through, he ends on that D. And then that leads you directly into the chorus, which is basically just D, G, and then A twice, and then D, G, A, and then back to G, and a bunch of stabs on G. And that goes right back into that interlude. Something like that. Then you've got basically everything repeated over again. Everything that I already talked about is in there. And then it goes to the chorus again at the end, and then the outro is just the D to B minor, and then there's that there's a D minor to the B flat part. So it's basically the outro is just, which is part of the intro, it's D to B minor, and then he goes with that D minor, something like that. Then he goes through, plays a long solo. You got Peter's chords in the solo are D, C, B minor, and B flat. In that solo, Mixolydian works, but you're outlining the chords for that, because it's especially when you get that B minor to B flat, your chromatic down. Really try and hit the B flats. It's won't sound really that well if you don't. But then after that, he plays the extended solo and right back into that outro part, D to B minor, and basically they end on that. So right out of the solo, they go right back into it, and they end with that. So basically that's it. Kind of a cool tune. It definitely reminds me of Lizards, the intro and the outro by Fish, but anyways, I digress. So that is Turbulence and the Night Race. All right.